right, it's live improv from New York City. Hey, I am Scotty Watson, and I want to introduce you to the fabulous cast this evening. We have Barry. Hey, Barry. We got Dawn. Oh, nice. We have Tania. Hello, Tania. And we have Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Oh, it got really high there for a second. And we have EJ. Yay. All right. What I'd like to ask now is for the cast to give me a suggestion, and that is, what is a big event in the life of a small town? A big decision a small town might need to make.
The very first Dairy Queen.
Oh yeah, should they have one or shouldn't they have one? Very interesting, Dairy Queen, because it's a mysterious fluid they make that out of. So the town of Goon River had to decide if they were going to allow their very first Dairy Queen. And now I'll ask the actors to channel the people, the good people of Goon River, and let one of those good people of Goon River into your brain and go ahead and change your name thing if you want, as soon as you're channeling that person. Yeah, they had to decide about that Dairy Queen. Some people really wanted a Dairy Queen. They could not live without soft serve. And some people were like, oh, no, I'm a hard ice cream kind of person. That's the thing about the people of Goon River. It was a small town, but they had big minds. They had open minds. And but they were opinionated, they were some people were for it and some people were against it, but nobody was on the fence. Let's talk to them right now. Hey, our first person, J.R. McPherson. What did you do in the town of Goon River?
I owned a chemical company.
A chemical company? That's interesting. What kind of chemicals?
Well, we make all sorts of chemicals that, make up the food cycle.
So can I make a guess that maybe you were for the Dairy Queen because you could sell them the chemicals?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Watson. We sell that Miss Dairy Queen lots of chemicals.
What's the big chemical in the Dairy Queen?
You'd have to pay me a certain amount of money for me to tell you that secret recipe.
All right. Well, you send me over your Venmo account information and maybe we'll talk about it. I
could tell you and then kill you.
No, let's do the other one where maybe via Venmo. I think that's the plan.
All right.
All right. So we're going to put you down as 4. Hey, Daryl Hornsby, I understand that you are a farmer.
Yes, I am.
I
have a beautiful farm right outside of town. I've had it for years. We got at least a few cattle left. It is a waning business, to say the least.
Wait a second. You're not just a farmer, but you're also a rancher.
Well, yeah. We certainly are.
So do you raise crops as well, or just the cows?
We did. It's been a rough year, but we have a lot of crops, a lot of beans.
Let me ask you this.
Beans, you can't kill beans. They just weather all kinds of weather.
Oh, yeah. That's a great thing about beans. Are they steers or are they cows? And just for other people, steers are for food, cows are for dairy.
Yeah, no, they're which one did you say there? I said they're
steers are for food, cows are for dairy.
Cows, that's what they are. They're cows.
You're cows. So should I suggest that maybe you're for the Dairy Queen because you could sell them milk?
If they were to buy the milk from my cows, that'd be great. But as it is, I got a nice little stand, and as people go out there on Route 77, they pass by me, drop off there, and get their ice cream and their milk. Come out from town, get the milk that way too.
So, are you for it or against it?
I'm against it unless they make some sort of deal with me.
All right, that's really interesting. You could be bought. We'll let them know. Officer T, what an interest! I'm assuming that's your designation, officer, rather than a name.
Well, my name is too long to pronounce, so everybody in the town calls me T. It's Tiridinsky.
Tiridinsky. That's not long. It's pretty good. Tiridinsky, unless I'm missing a couple of idiots.
That could be, yes.
Tiridinsky.
Right.
Okay,
I'm
that's
just shortening it up for you.
now with officer. I'm going to assume that you are a police person.
Yes, I have been watching this town for over maybe 15, 16 years now.
15, 16 years. Are you the sheriff, the one and only?
Well, no, I have other helpers, but I'm the chief.
Chief of police. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, Officer Tadinsky, the Dairy Queen, do you think it's going to be good for the town or bad for the town?
We still have to wait on that because the store that was there previously was robbed so many times,
Sure.
along with Farmer Hornsby's cows.
Oh, I didn't know that you could rob a
Yeah.
cow. But Officer,
He robbed my cows.
oh, that's the saddest thing ever. But Officer Tadinsky, I'm going to ask for your vote right now. Are you for it or against it?
I am for it.
Oh, interesting. Why are you for it?
Why not?
Good answer.
Everybody in the town is for it.
Good answer. Why not? Why not? Shut up or I'll get my billy club out. Okay, thank you. Nice meeting you, Officer.
Yeah. No problem.
Dr. No Ital. What an interesting name. What are you a doctor of?
Psychiatry.
Oh, that is very interesting. Do you psychoanalyze everybody in town?
Oh, yes. There's been a big argument going on, and they all come running to me when they get traumatized by the argument over the Dairy Queen or
Well, that's what they're arguing over is the Dairy Queen.
Oh, one of many things.
Well, I know
He's a social worker in town.
I know that being a psychologist, you have to, you can't take a side, but I'm sure as a human being, as an individual, you have a choice. Are you for or against the Dairy Queen?
Well, sugar makes people too hyper, and I just think it's not a good idea. They're all maniacs anyway, so.
Are you supposed to use that kind of language? Maniacs, crazy, nut bars?
I didn't say crazy nut bars. You said that.
Well, I added some stuff, but you said, what did you say?
You weren't listening.
No, I never listen unless I'm speaking. Lunatics, wasn't it? Was it lunatics? What was it?
You tell me.
Nut bars.
That's maniacs, God damn it.
Maniacs. That's what it is. Okay. Maniacs is way worse than lunatics. Are you supposed to be using language like that?
Not in the office.
Oh, okay. Just between us.
Just between
Okay.
us.
Sounds good. And maybe later we'll find out who the craziest person is.
I think they will show themselves to be true.
Dr. No. Can I call you Dr. No?
Call me Ital.
All right. I'm afraid that's all the time we have.
Yes, that's true.
I've always wanted to say that. Daisy Leibfraumilch. Leibfraumilch. Have I got it right?
Yeah, not really, but it'll do.
That's a very Irish accent for such a
An
German.
Irish name, kind of.
Leib-
Leaf well, milk. Okay. Oh no, my mother had it off with a German. If you have to bring it up, okay.
Oh, I bet there's a story there. Liebfraumilch. Cool. What did you do in the town of Goon River Dairy? Liebfraumilch.
Well, I was part of the International Milking Maid Exchange Program. I'm on Farmer Hornsby's farm, milking cows.
It's a little bit of Scottish burr in there too. I think.
I've been all over. My mother's been all over.
Yeah, she was quite the tart. So you're a milkmaid. You work for Farmer Hornsby.
Well, I do right now. When I'm not in Ireland, I'm over here at Goon River. Squirt, squirt, squeeze, squeeze. That's my family motto.
It's a very unfortunate family motto.
Irish, it's Irish.
I know it's probably one of the worst ever you can imagine. Now, hey, the Dairy Queen, are you for it or are you against it?
I am the Dairy Queen as far as I'm concerned. I've always been the Dairy Queen. They should have it. And the farmers, he's been encouraging me on the quiet to try out, show me assets, as it were.
He's been asking you to do what?
To compete. He says he's not for it, but he'd like it if his farm produced the winning milkmaid as the Dairy Queen. Oh, would he love it?
Shall I put you down as 4?
Oh, very much for. Neon lights for.
Well, that's it, folks. That is 3 for and 2 against. They decided to build the Dairy Queen. Now, I want to fast forward a little bit and talk to you about the day before the grand opening of the Goon River Dairy Queen, if I may. Let's start with you, J.R. McPherson. Where were you the day before the big grand opening, and who did you see?
Well, I left my chemical plant because it was spewing so much stuff. I had to get the heck out of there. So I figured I'd do a sales call over to Hornsby over there. I went over there, figuring, he could use some of my chemicals for steers and cows, and even maybe some chemicals for old Daisy.
All right. And what did he say? Did he buy some chemicals?
He wasn't there.
What? He wasn't there?
No. I found that quite suspicious.
Well, that's interesting. This is the first time while doing this interview program that I found out interesting information by someone not being there.
Right, but Daisy was there.
Daisy was there. What was Daisy doing?
Well, I work, squeeze.
Okay. I'm going to assume that was with the cows. Farmer Hornsby, where were you? J.R. McPherson was at your farm looking for you, and you were out. Where did you go?
Well, there are things called NDAs, so I don't necessarily have to say, but it's okay. I'm an open book. I get my therapy from Dr. Ital, and that's where we were. That's what I was doing. I was talking a spell. I was talking.
All right. So you were with Dr. No at all.
Yes, that's right. We were talking.
How's the mania coming? Are you feeling a little less with the crazy?
Well, it's funny you mention that because I'm starting to wonder actually about what really is going on inside my brain. I've never really had that experience to be able to talk to someone about that, and that's what I was doing, was talking to her about that experience.
Now, good mental health is no joke, even though
No, it's
currently
not.
making fun of it. But let's go talk to our mental health expert, Dr. No et al. Farmer Hornsby told us that he was with you the day before they opened the Big Dairy Queen. So it's okay if you want to confirm it or deny it.
Indeed. The farmer was at my office.
Now,
He came there after my previous patient.
you don't have to tell us who that was.
Oh, I didn't say a word,
Oh, okay.
but it was Officer T.
Oh, but we don't know that.
But we don't know that.
You were both. You and Farmer Hornsby were both against the opening of the big Dairy Queen. Was that discussed at all?
Well, I'm not supposed to reveal what we discuss, so I can't tell you.
Oh,
But I can tell you that the debates going on, they all were at my office before the Dairy Queen was opened.
interesting. Everybody's having a tough time with this. Let's talk to you, Officer T. I understand that you went to your regular appointment with Dr. Know-It-All. What did you do after you had your therapy session?
I cannot divulge that, but what I can tell you is that it was a success. Whatever.
Well, I'm gonna demand that you tell us. This is you've you've signed an agreement that you will answer my questions.
Well, we've had a perp around the premises of the hospital where Dr. Know-It-All works and her office, and we finally got him. So I was up all night doing paperwork, filling out, so he can be in his cell all night because I don't want him out.
All right. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, Daisy Liebfrau Milk. What were you doing the day before the opening of the big Dairy Queen?
Well, I was practicing my skill because part of being crowned Dairy Queen is you got to have a skill. My skill's listening. That's what I'm told. So I was practicing listening.
Were you listening to J.R. McPherson?
Well, he came along. It's very funny you should mention that. He did come along, and I showed him my squirt, squirt, squeeze, squeeze technique, and he was very impressed. But
Here it's good.
he's going to give me some chemicals. He agreed. He'd give me some chemicals so I could have a chemical peel on the morning of the big event, so I could look my best and have an edge on the competition. Yes.
Nice. Always good to have part of your face melted off.
Especially on a big occasion, especially for a big occasion.
Now, I hate to do this to everybody, but I'm going to ask you to talk about the day that everything happened, the day of the opening of the Dairy Queen. I know. But let's start with you. JR, what happened to you that morning? You were the very first person at the big ribbon cutting for the Dairy Queen. What happened to you?
Well, Scotty, I came up with this magic formula over at the chem plant. And I thought maybe we'd set up some kiosks and some racks, sell the new chemical that we came up with.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
So you're setting up the
a hot
chemicals.
cellar. It was a hot cellar.
It was a hot what?
Cellar. It's sold like hotcakes.
So what happened to you while you were setting up that rack?
Well, the chemicals got away. I dumped the hot cellar right into the soft freeze machine,
Sure.
and it just started to bubble up over. It wasn't even chocolate or vanilla any longer. It was
Oh, no.
something different. It was a green slime.
Oh, that's not good.
It just engulfed my head.
Oh, no, not your head.
Yeah.
And that just did you in. I am so sorry about that. That sounds awful.
It wasn't the green slime that really did me in. It was I had this pocket full of Quaaludes,
Oh,
and I had taken too many that day.
oh, so you both died of slime and overdose simultaneously.
That's correct. Yeah.
Wow, that you certainly made sure that you were dead. Hey, I believe that the next person on the scene was Officer T. Called to the emergency, ran there, saw JR flat out covered in slime. But what happened to you, Officer T?
Well, I thought it was going to be a perfect day. Everything was going my way. And then I get a call in that someone's drugs were missing from their office.
Uh-oh.
So the guy described him in a kind of a black flannel shirt. I turn to the left. I see a guy in a black shirt going into the Dairy Queen. I wanted to go up to him, but I had no backup.
Sure.
So I slowly moved back. I got an ice cream and
Yeah.
I went back to the office.
Oh, that's bad because that ice cream had chemicals in it.
I didn't know that.
I know.
So
then what happened to you when you ate the ice cream?
before or after I started glowing.
Oh.
And then the headaches and I had to go back to the office, tell somebody to take over me, and I went home.
And when you got home, you died.
I was done. I was done. I didn't even work that day, and I didn't get paid.
And also you died, which
Yeah,
really screws up your earning potential. Yeah,
It does.
fact. Hey, it sounds like J.R. McPherson got a whole bunch of Quaaludes from somebody, and Quaaludes are a psychological, pharmacological drug. Dr. Know-it-all, I understand you were the next person into the Dairy Queen right after Officer T left. What happened to you?
Well, when I discovered the drugs were missing from my pharmaceutical cabinet,
Yes.
I assumed that it was somebody who was at the Dairy Queen. So I went to the Dairy Queen. I ran there because I know many of my patients are addicts and they needed to be stopped from taking anything illegal. So I ran, and I got in there and I slid on the green slime, knocked my head. That was it. I was out cold, dead cold.
Dead cold.
Dead cold.
In a soft serve. That is sad.
In a green soft serve.
No, that's not right. Not even on St. Patrick's Day. Is that right? Hey, Daryl Hornsby, farmer, I understand you were the next person into the Dairy Queen. What happened to you?
Oh, yeah, I was. I went into the Dairy Queen, and they're very nice people there. Very nice people indeed. I don't really have anything against them, and I brought my cow Elsie with me, and we were in there, and they gave me a little present, something to put into my meerschaum pipe, and so I put it in there, and I felt, I don't know, I've been very happy. I'm very, very happy since then. But the reason I went over there is because I had a misunderstanding. I thought that they were going to have a Dairy Queen, and I have a Dairy Queen that's been working with me for quite a long time. So I was there to hold up her honor, if you will, because I thought that they were trying to say something nasty about Dairy Queen Daisy. And I got into a fist fight with them, and they hit me in the head.
Wow, that's horrible. Whoever they are, the hell with them. That's awful. I'm sorry that happened to you. And finally, Daisy, liebe Frau Milch. I had really hoped that you survived this whole thing because you had high hopes, but you didn't.
I want to say first, the real hero of the day was Farmer Hornsby. God bless him. He and I had misunderstood the entire thing. Nobody told me that in Goon River, a Dairy Queen is a building. I thought it was a competition, and he was helping me get ready, and what a mistake. I arrived there with my facial peel, looking terrible. My forehead had fallen over my eyes. I couldn't see where I was going. I had flapping forehead in my eyes, and I tripped on a Quaalude and face planted. End of everything for me. End of everything.
Oh, that's awful. Tripping on Quaaludes like that.
Tripping on a Quaalude.
Oh, that's happened to me before. I am so sorry that happened. I'm sorry for all of you. And thank you so much for telling us your stories. And thank you for watching Improv on a Friday night. You guys can be yourselves again. So you always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then be Batman. Hey, we're gonna have more improv coming at you in just a second, so stick around.